So thank you for inviting me along to speak today. So my name is James Weaver and I am the Employer Engagement Manager at the Careers and Enterprise Centre. Part of my remit is to actually look after undergraduate and sort of non-research student enterprise. So what I've been asked to talk to you today about is some of the support that we offer. Most of that is through funding, I'll be honest, and that might be of interest to some of you. We'll take questions at the end. So the first thing I want to talk about really is actually two funding pots of money we have available for students. It's funded by ourselves, Queen Mary, but also match funded by Santander, who are a corporate partner of Queen Mary. So we have two pots of money available here for any kind of non-research level idea really you might have, or something that maybe Queen Mary doesn't have any sort of IP ownership over. Don't ask me any questions about IP. So there's two pots of money available. One of those is for very early stage ideas, so something you just want to try, and that's called the Try It. That's 500 quid. So the way we give away this money is essentially you apply to us. There's normally a small panel, and we invest in the person, not necessarily the idea sometimes. Obviously you have to have a kind of a valid idea, but really we're looking for someone who's got something we want to help develop them. So you have an enterprise appointment with my colleague Rachel, and these are confidential appointments as well, so we can sign NDAs if required, but really we can sort of take it on trust. And then if the idea is feasible, we take it to the pitch. If you've got a more developed business ideas, like some of the things you might be developing over the course of these few days, we have £5,000 available to individuals. For this you will need to submit again a short business plan with a slightly more in-depth panel, which Adam actually, and alongside Peter McCowan, who Vice President of Public Engagement and Student Enterprise. These panels can be a bit more intense, and we'll be looking for real kind of solid business ideas, solid business plans, scalable where possible. I think the important thing to mention about this is actually we do have quite a significant chunk of money that we give away each year. So we've given away just shy of £50,000 this year to a range of student businesses, and they can be anything really. So we've given away money to chocolatiers this year, through to people developing kind of MOOCs for pre-entry students before they come to university. So to apply for these awards, you have to be studying at Queen Mary or a recent graduate of up to 1 year. We do accept some limited applications from staff as well, so if you're registered as a staff member, we can accept you there. And the next round of awards are open in October. So what we do is we give away the money in periods throughout the academic year. It's normally October, late January, and then May, with perhaps, if we have any money left over, which sometimes happens, unbelievably, we have another final round in June as well. And you can find further details about this on the website. The other thing I want to talk about as well is external funding sources, which may be of interest to some of you who have ideas that maybe don't get funded through Queen Mary or through us. There's a couple of different routes to go, and are people very aware of different funding mechanisms outside of academic research funding? Yes? No? Good. I'll say that's a no. So one of the key ones actually is crowdfunding, which is very trendy at the moment. Probably the most prominent one that people have heard of is Kickstarter. We've helped a number of students actually to develop their Kickstarter presences over the last couple of years. So we helped a student to fund a book about a year ago where we managed to get about £12,000 through Kickstarter. And then this year we had one that didn't perhaps achieve its goal quite as well as we'd hoped, which was called Cinta Design, which is a product design agency. Again, we kind of offer guidance on how to market that, how to kind of get the message out, how to make the particular goals you need to make, stretch goals as they're called as well, if you have particular levels of funding you're looking for. Then the other ones there, Crowdcube and Funding Circle. Again, much more sort of like crowdfunding orientated, a bit more serious than Kickstarter, I would say. Kickstarter tends to be a bit more make and do, I would say, in terms of things. Then Hubbub as well there, which is one I'm not too familiar with, so I won't talk about that too much. Then the other funding is competition. So there are loads of competitions out there for people starting enterprises. It's actually a really great time to be starting a business. Growing it is obviously another issue because there's a gap in the funding model at the moment in the UK. But these are really great. We've helped a number of students go through to the Mayor's Low Carbon Prize, which has been quite an interesting one. There's several that happen around Livewire, which is Shell Livewire, which happens on a rolling basis, and then there's various different ones that happen throughout the year. So, for example, AutoCAD Next Generation Award is just coming up, which looks at people with innovative automotive designs, and there's lots of different things out there you can have a look at. And they're all listed again on this kind of slightly lengthy link here, plus 2 lines. Then the final one, which is possibly the least palatable for some people, is the loan system. So Startup Loans is a government initiative. It's been in operation now for a few years. These are essentially for people who haven't managed to get any kind of investment or grant. We have quite a few students who have gone through this method. The loans are relatively low interest, so they're not so bad, and they do provide quite a significant amount of mentoring and support through those loans as well, external partners. If you look on the website there's quite a lot of different organisations, but they fund lots of different things, and the criteria is quite loose, so it's quite interesting to see how far you can push the loan amount you get. Obviously it is repayable, which is a drawback if your business is unsuccessful in the long run. So that was a very quick whistle-stop tour through funding. You can find out more about what we do here. We also offer a number of different activities throughout the academic year to support businesses. The key ones we've got coming up are actually a technology-focused event called Startup Stand-Up, where we get different entrepreneurs from the outside world as well as on campus as well to come into the campus and deliver 5-minute kind of pithy talks about what's brilliant or terrible about running their own business. They're quite fun, and we normally have some beers after that as well, and that'll be on the 6th of November. Then we'll be running that again, a slightly less technology-focused one on the 20th of November. And I wanted to flag as well Global Entrepreneurship Week as well, so we'll be running a whole load of activities during that particular period, as well as all through the academic year, around topics like idea generation. We offer some IP guidance actually through the Q Legal Initiative within the School of Law. We have external experts coming in acting as mentors as well. So that's all be available on our website from about 8th of September. Any questions? Going once?
So if
Free to insult. Hello.
If I have some questions or maybe some mentoring or something, can I go to careers and...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So the thing to do is drop an email to the enterprise QMUR account there. I've got some business cards here for my colleague Rachel, who can't be here today unfortunately. But she manages the points. So we actually actively seek mentors from the local startup community where we're quite networked, because we help them to we find internships, interns to work with small startups in the local area. A lot of those companies, as a result of that arrangement, come back and mentor students who are looking for things. I mean, it might not be someone who's directly related to your business, but it'll be someone who perhaps could offer some kind of guidance or assistance in some way, maybe network you into a particular community. Any other questions?